I sincerely invite our chairperson, Dr. Rajesh Verma, sir, for his remarks and observations. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Nazmul. First of all, I congratulate the speakers. Congratulate the speakers because they have found most courageous and adventurous listeners, audience. I can see only few are present here, but those few have helped us in maintaining the spirit of this seminar. So please clap for our audience. Okay. Now we have three presentations in this session, in this plenary session, second plenary session. And it started with Dr. Mahesh Sharma, who is from Tibetan University. First of all the three scholars, they are very distinguished, professors. They have, strong credentials. They have, already proved themselves in their field. I know the two of them personally, and Dr. Mahesh, I met him today, so I could sense his scholarship. So these three presentations were extraordinary not in the sense because they used oratory as a skill, rather they shared something which they have felt themselves. It's like that they were not highly theoretical or that just bookish. Like Dr. Mahesh in his talk talked about this crisis. He began with this thing, why Tibetan literature is not still in any university syllabus, or it is not part of any academic forum or seminar. And I agree with him. One of the reasons that I found for this, that is Tibetan literature, with my very limited knowledge, it is still in oral form, strongly in oral form, and whatever literature has come from Tibet, most of the fellows have suffered greatly, so many of the things that could have been there in the form of literature have actually suffered, and it has become more, memory, painful memory. So it has affected that way. By Tibet, one book comes to my mind, and that is Tibetan Book of Dying, Tibetan Book of Living and Dead. This one book which I read, and I read it, and even today I read it whenever I feel depressed. And another movie, 7 Years in Tibet, that is based on a novel. But yes, whenever we are taking this country, in our imagination, Tibet, only two things that he said, that Tibet has become the victim of its own image. The yak and a monk. Only these two figures come in our mind. Monk means one who has renounced this, this world, become completely ascetic or, spiritual figure. So I wonder if Tibetans don't live a life which is earthly or material, that one thing. And this yak, because their life is totally dependent, Tibet is called the highest plateau on this earth. So their life is totally dependent on this yak. And I have seen some of the yaks when I was in Bhutan, so I came to know about this Tibetan culture to some extent. And when I came to this university, sir, to be sorry to say, but I found that some of the people from Bhutan, they were claiming that they are not being treated equally in this university, that is Tibetan University. So, I mean, that even that can be a controversy, but that was shared to me by some of the Bhutanese fellows who are getting their education in this university, Tibetan University. Sir might have better experiences because he's teaching there. And Dr. Saurabh Singh, he started with he talked about a story, and that story reminded me of Nissim Iskil's own experiences, who had shared the same kind of, like this crisis of not being, at home, whether it is in Bombay or even in London, where being a Jew, he has his own crisis. And the last speaker, Dr. Ashish Pathak, whatever he spoke, it is actually a part of a project that I am very sure will result into a great, knowledge. Maybe in coming years, let's hope 2, 3, 4 years. But this folk studies is actually, it has emerged and it is now, part, thanks to this actually cultural studies. I mean, where people from the villages, the rural areas are now coming to the Department of English. Otherwise, I tell you my own experience, not my experience, but the department to which I belong, that is Department of English, University of Allahabad, and Dr. Ashish Pathak received his education from there, so he can confirm to this, that there was a famous poet and father of one of the greatest actor, Bollywood, Amitabh Bachchan's father, Harivansh Rai Bachchan, belonged to that department, and he never was at ease in that department because he was not having the same kind of accent, knowledge of English, and he was more of, Hindi poet who was treated, who was misbehaved in the department, and who was called as Manchiye Kabi. Manchiye Kabi was kind of inferior poet. And he had to resign, if I am not wrong, Ashish sir. He has to resign, and he went back. He went back, and then later on he started living with Amitabh Bachchan. And Amitabh Bachchan promised took oath that he would never come to this university, the University of Allahabad. It was in 1970s, 80s. Now a lot of water has flown in the river, and recently there were selections in the Department of English in 2022, and many people have joined. Those who don't carry the same kind of, English knowledge or, of this language and of this culture, they are also coming to the departments. So that is one of the things that such theories and such academic discussions do for us. So I extend my sincere thanks to the audience first and then to the speakers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I sincerely thank all the speakers and our chairpersons from my personal behalf and on behalf of English department. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.